What's up, team? How's it going? Today we're looking at a video of North Korean soldiers in Russia, and we've got a former North Korean soldier talking about are they ready for war? Do they want to fight? And are they even getting paid? So let's get into the video. You can check out the original video in the description. Comment below what your thoughts are and what you want to see next. I'm Craig, a former British Army soldier, and I'm just going to see what we've got to say, break it down, and then we'll go from there. But let's get into the video. So numbers wise, there's rumours going around, but we believe it's around 10 to 12,000 soldiers, maybe even more. That is a lot, but to North Korea, it's actually not that much. I read that North Korea is the second largest military organisation in the world, with around 29.9% of its population actively serving in the military, reserves or paramilitary in some form. To think of it, 10 to 12,000, I think, what did we have? Around 9,000 in Afghan, 15,000, 9 to 15,000 at the height of Afghanistan from the British Army. Okay, and they've just sent 10 to 12,000, maybe more, over to Russia to fight for Russia. So it's a large amount, and apparently these are just special forces and special agents, special operations group. So they've got a lot of soldiers to send. And to send special forces, are they trying to make some sort of statement? I don't know, but that's who they've sent. But let's break it down a little bit more. Every nation has got special forces pretty much, but you can't really compare them all to the UK, French, American, etc. I can't see, with their economy and the kit and equipment they use and the training facilities, that the North Korean Special Forces is going to be trained as well as the UK, American, French, etc. British, the best, or if not one of the best in the world. Same for the Americans. The French have got great special forces as well. Looking at the videos we've seen, people are saying these are North Korean special forces. When you look at their kit looks really outdated. Some of it just looks like what most sort of first world countries, conventional military kits and equipment is what they use. You've then got just the amount of them as well. I wouldn't say they're up there or anywhere near sort of your UK, US special forces, but these are North Korean special forces, but they're not going to be as well trained or as well equipped. See, like look at the kit and equipment they've got there. I'm not sure what weapon system that is really, but nothing's really modern or up to date. So yeah, and food is very important. And like he says, they haven't got the kit and equipment or the training to really make them a top tier elite force. So they may have the numbers, but they haven't got the training. They also haven't got the combat experience as other nations. So that looks fake to me. Look at that. Doesn't even look like a real weapon system or sight. Looks bulky, heavy. It's not something you really want to be carrying around with you. Right, before we go into that, as you saw that sort of combat training, that's not real tactical training. That's just for show. Look what our soldiers can do. We can be whacked around the legs and the back with a stick. Yeah, you can survive, a hand fight, but what you actually like getting out, what you like at contact drills, what you like at navigation, what you like surviving out in the woods, getting over the hills. That's just for show. Like, not every nation does it, and there's no need for it. It's all choreographed, fighting, hand-to-hand combat. That's not what they're actually trained to do, okay? Because you're not going to go out like that. Like you said, they haven't got the kit and equipment. It would just be on the shelves and they would practice use it. We all know North Korea just doesn't have the economy, doesn't have, the vehicles, the fuel, the food. So the amount of soldiers they've actually sent, are they going to make a difference? Is the kit and equipment good enough? Are they tactically good enough? From what I'm seeing, they're most probably not. And it's really like you're just sending the lambs to slaughter. But we'll see what he's got to say, because this sounds good about the psychological mindset of the soldiers. So with this, you don't know what they've been told. So mentally, they're most probably not motivated. Currently, North Korea is not under attack. This is Russia and Ukraine, and Russia pushing west, Ukraine trying to push east and counterattack that. We all know that within North Korea, it's on complete lockdown. So there's no outside internet, there's no outside TV, it's only what they show you. So we don't know what they've been shown about the Russian and Ukraine war at all, because they just don't have access to it. So I'm not really sure what they're thinking or why they think they're fighting. We don't know what they've been told. So we're not 100% sure at all really what their mindset is. Secondly, when it comes to diffraction, escaping, I'm sure this is something the North Korean leader and the generals have definitely thought of, because you've always got people trying to escape from North Korea. As you know, it's on complete lockdown. And there's always, civilians or military personnel trying to escape. No one comes in and out really. It's really, really tight. So it'd be very interesting to see what they have in place, because you're moving a large body of men, soldiers, to another country to go and fight a war that they don't really know much about. They're not really sure why they're fighting. Not getting proper food, not getting proper equipment. So they must have something in place to prevent those escapes, because I'm sure there's a lot of them thinking about it. So have they moved their families? Will they, the families be in trouble if they escaped? Have they got something else in place to stop it? Because me personally, you don't fully understand North Korea, but from what you see, quite a few would want to escape for a better life. So they must have something in place. Otherwise, you would just see a lot of them just escape as soon as they're let sort of, free to go and carry out the mission. So very, very interesting. But like he said, Ukraine could play this very cleverly, and they could speak to other nations, especially South Korea, to see what they can do to get a lot of them to defect to the other side. And it'd be interesting to see how this plays out over the next few weeks, to see if they can get more and more defecting and lower the number of North Korean fighting in Ukraine. But North Korea must have something in place. They must do. Otherwise, a lot of them, you would think, would flee if it really is that bad in North Korea. Yeah, so as we saw from the videos, they don't have the kit and equipment. Russian special forces maybe do have really, really good equipment. But do they have, conventional forces? With how long this war's gone on, it's gone on a lot longer than Putin would have thought of. They're running low on supplies. They're running low on kit and equipment. So North Korean equipment must be really, really old if they're really happy with what the Russians are giving them. Because I'm sure the Russians are not giving them their top, most expensive bits of equipment. But it's obviously a smart move from Russia, because if you want to get loads of troops in from another nation without making it too obvious, you're just going to give them your clothing to make it look like they are Russians. So unless they actually see their face or capture them, you're not going to know, because they're all just going to look the same on the battlefield. And so it makes it a little bit more confusing for Ukraine as well. But I'm just not sure how good that equipment would be anyway, how comfortable it's going to be, how well it's going to handle in sort of those sort of environments. We don't know. Like we know, the war's gone on a lot longer, and both sides are struggling when it comes to ammunition, kit and equipment, weapon systems, clothing, food, water. So yeah, North Koreans might be happy, they might not. When it comes to working alongside the Russians, I don't think they would have done many sort of exercises together. I don't think they would have worked together a lot, or if at all. So it's going to be very hard for both of them to adapt. One speaks Russian, one speaks North Korean. They most probably don't speak much English. Both come from two nations where they're very strong-headed. So that's most probably going to play a part. I think there really are going to be struggles. I think there's going to be a lot of issues within the companies, platoons, regiments working together. I think he's definitely correct there. And I think that could cause issues on the battlefield. And if that's not running smoothly, if you're not working together tactically, communicating well together, then that's just going to show in the firefighting. The whole point of bringing in your allies is that you understand each other's tactics, SOPs, kits and equipment, and you can work well together. If you don't have that relationship, it's just going to show on the battlefield, and it's going to make the situation worse than not having them there at all. So, as it plays out, we'll just have to see what gets released and see how it goes. But I can't see them having the best equipment. I can't see the Russians giving them, loads of amazing bits of equipment. But we'll see. Hopefully more videos get released as it goes on. What? No way. Can you imagine doing 2 hours of training of that every morning? That would just be enough to kill you off. But yeah, that's what they do. They constantly, to make them think North Korea is the best. We're always under attack. You've got to protect the king. You've got to protect the family. You've got to protect the military. It's just so tunnel visioned. But like I said, if Ukraine and South Korea play it properly, like you just said, they'll be told not to pick up any propaganda. Don't listen to anything you read or see. But if Ukraine and South Korea get involved and they play it correctly, they really could get quite a few escaping and passing on sort of military secrets. So we've just got to see. But from his point of view, it doesn't sound good. They don't have the money, they don't have the food, they don't have the equipment, and they definitely don't have the motivation, and they don't have the training. All the training with the Russians, like I said, that can play a massive part, because if they're not working together correctly, then it's all just going to fall apart anyway. If they can't communicate well, they can't work together tactically, then, there's no point in them being there together. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are on this. I don't think there's too much to worry about. Yeah, they've sent the Storm Corps Special Forces, but they're nowhere near going to be at the level, you know, of other actual foreign Special Forces units. And from the videos you're seeing and the kit and equipment they're wearing, the training they're doing, they look like just a standard conventional force. But they are sending a lot of troops, and we could see even more reinforced. We don't know how this is going to play out. We don't know what they've spoken about, what sort of they promised, the numbers they promised, what the Russians have promised North Korea. So until we hear more information being released, we don't know if this is going to continue. You hear a lot of bad news at the minute, how North Koreans aren't happy. They've just been used as lambs to slaughter. Whether the North Koreans are going to send more troops, we don't know. They might do, but we'll have to see. But 10 to 12,000, maybe 15,000 is already a lot of troops to put on the ground. But thanks for watching. Check out the original video in the description. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.